So this is my video response to Brodeo's video. Gaming is screwed. Um, I really agree with the video and to what he said because there's a lot of issues with gaming today, and one of them is definitely greed. There's a lot of greed with game developers. They have gone DLC crazy, especially Capcom, if not EA, and Activision. Yeah, it's true. Activision has decided to run their gaming franchises to the ground. So I do agree with what Brodeo says in his video, but I'm just here to point out some of the solutions to you know to the gaming industry. But it has to start with the gamers. It really has to start with the gamers. And the reason why is that one, gamers need to be more organized, more united, and they need to stop fighting among themselves. That's the problem. Many games fight among themselves. They call each other's names and they belittle each other, and that is why it is what it is. And the only thing that many games don't understand is that whether it's game developers, video game companies, or corporations like Sony, Microsoft, or even Valve, you have to understand that these are run by people, and like normal human beings, they make mistakes. Unfortunately, there's a lot of corporate cheerleaders. That's the major problem right there. There's too many gamers that are willing to defend, say, corporations, and they're not willing to admit that the corporation that they're loyal to, that the corporation that that they like, makes mistakes. And we've seen it throughout this generation that you know there are some gamers that say, hey, this needs to be corrected to improve our gaming experience, to make to move gaming forward, and allow gamers like going, no, 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 they're not wrong, they're not wrong. We saw it with the Microsoft's RD, with Microsoft's recent hike in indie games. We saw it with Microsoft's um, idea of reselling, say, indie games through the little hub called I forgot the name. But the point is, we also saw with the Hope remove the PS2 backwards compatibility, and a little bit with the PlayStation Plus. But we've seen it with the whole Left 4 Dead fiasco. Like there were gamers that wanted mods and free DLC content, and a lot of gamers would say, no, you shouldn't say that in regards to Valve. Valve cannot do no wrong, blah blah blah. We saw it with Final Fantasy 13, and quite recently Mass Effect 3 is the most recent one. So I don't know. There's a lot of gamers that are willing to defend Capcom for going DLC crazy. They're willing to defend EA for making such a shitty ending for Mass Effect 3. And I don't know why they're willing so hard to defend the game companies and game developers when they make mistakes. That to me does not make any sense. It just doesn't. All these guys that put out those petitions, those boycotts, they're not doing it because they want to. They're not doing it because they like to. And they're not doing it for the fame and glory. They're doing it because they want the gaming experience to improve and they want gaming to move forward. That's why they do it. And one of the things I don't like is the game journalists today. The game journalist job is pretty simple, but it's as simple as it is. It's very hard to take on it, mainly because games journalists are supposed to inform gamers what's happening, whether it's good or bad, within the video game industry in a non-biased, way, and also, you know, to let the gamers know, like, when a corporation makes a mistake or when a game company is doing something that is anti-gaming. Instead, we got a bunch of video game journalists that have become a lot of yes men or yes women, and they pretty much, belittle the gaming community. These are the gaming journalists that came with the world's entitlement, or like, oh, the gamers are a bunch of entitled. They're so entitled. They're and they're so spoiled, and it's come on. And they do allow damage control, like they did with Final Fantasy 13. Oh, allow gamers to boycott Final Fantasy 13 because it came on the Xbox 360, which that was in the cause. The cause the boycott appeared for Final Fantasy 13 was because it lacked a lot of features that previous Final Fantasy games had, like the ability, to go into towns, talk to people, make purchases, you know, and the fact that there were alternate areas that you could go into in previous Final Fantasies was 13 was pretty linear. That was the real cause, but that's the thing. Gaming journalists just belittle and instigate the game community, and unfortunately, gamers look at that and they follow suit. You have, you know, financial analysts, the financial analysts that are responsible for how a game is sold and transferred that have failed to adapt to the digital age. I mean, as far as the sales go, the sales are totally broken. Economic climate wasn't taken into consideration. Distribution channels have not taken into consideration. Cheapest sold was thrown out the window. New versus used was not even taken into consideration. Games pirate versus games bought, that wasn't even taken into consideration either. All we see of sales is the retail sales. But folks, this is not the 90s anymore. Retail sales don't matter as much as they used to be. And I'll leave it for another video in regards to the whole sales thing because it's pretty broken. Reviews, we haven't even gotten a real review in years. Reviews are not opinions. That's where many gamers are wrong. If you were to look at the definition in any dictionary where it says reviews, it pretty much states it's a report, not a review opinion, a report of the pros and cons of a product, and that's pretty much it. When you do a review, it doesn't matter whether you like the game or not. You just review it on its merits and its qualities and also in its failings, and that's it. But it's not an opinion, folks. It is not. And that's how the game journal is so broken. We don't even have a good award ceremony because, let's face it, they don't even bring the actual creators behind the games. They didn't allow celebrities and they just kind of like minimize and make a joke about gaming. That's it. But like I was saying, it's like a lot of gamers are okay with the way gaming is, and they're okay with this type of broken gaming journalists, which is kind of like pathetic, but it is what it is. That's the problem. I mean, we never question the gaming journalists. We never question, like, these financial analysts, like, damn. It's like, wow. So that's the main problem right there. And that's why gaming is so screwed, because we don't have journalists that back up gamers. They only back up the companies, and that's it. And not only that, the American journalists only back up Microsoft. That's pretty much it. They belittle Nintendo. They belittle PC gaming. They didn't believe, well, they make hellacious a lot of fun of Sony, but they keep saying that Microsoft, the Xbox 360 was like sin from the heavens, and Microsoft can do no wrong. Well, pretty much the Xbox 360 you can clearly see is an outdated, broken system, but oh well. But the other thing about gamers is that a lot of gamers believe that they don't have no rights, that they have no say in the gaming industry, that they can't do anything, or they don't know how to do anything. when they have so many rights. You can petition, you can boycott, you can write letters to to the game developers to let them know, hey, this is BS, this is crap. And for those that still own the physical copy of the games, there's also a phone number right there in your little box or inside the menu. Well, hopefully still inside the menu. So you can call them in, let them know any issues that you have with the game. You can do that too. The other thing is that a lot of gamers really don't look at the other things like the whole Kickstarter program, which is appeared quite recently. Well, what is Kickstarter? Basically, the gamer funds the game they're about to play from the game developer. You see, instead of the game developer going to a publisher to publish the game, they want us, the gamers, to fund the game. And when you fund their game, well, the more you fund the game, you might get the game for free, or you might get in, credited in the credits, or you might come in the game, as an avatar or what have you. So that's pretty dang good, and I wish more gamers will jump in and support these Kickstarter projects like the Wasteland 2 project, Double Fine's upcoming adventure game that's funded by the gamers. That way, you see, you're funding the game, and that's the cool thing because you're funding the game, and one of Double Fine's things is that they show you a video as to where they're going and what are they doing in regards to the project. So you can see like, hey, wait a minute, you're messing up here. You should do this, or you should do that. Basically, the game developer gets feedback from the gamers themselves as to how the game should end up playing. So that to me is pretty damn good because you become part of the game, and it gives you that freedom because you have more control of the game that you're about to play, of the game that you're about to, well, maybe purchase it, but that's the cool thing. You are part of the gaming development process, and that's really damn good. So the other thing is that gamers need to be more excited when it comes to new